This program on investing under regulation crowdfunding is not investment advice.
Rising with the crowd, power unbound, change makers lead where hope is found. Superpowers for good, shaping the fate. Investors and dreamers open the gate. Supercross stands loud, proud and true, building tomorrow for me and you.
Welcome to the Superpowers for Good show from the Super Crowd. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and we are thrilled to have you here today. I've got an extraordinary guest, Gene Eidelman. But before I tell you about Gene, I want to just thank you all for being here, especially those of you who are here for the first time. You know, our audience is growing so quickly. We know many of you are here for the first time. We're thrilled that you're here to join us. We invite you to stick around, watch the entire episode. You're going to be amazed at what Gene is doing. Gene has literally created a company that is printing affordable housing. You literally printing affordable housing. Stick around. You do not want to miss this episode. Gene, welcome to the show.
Devin, great to see you. I'm so glad to be with you.
It's great to have you back. You know, what you're doing is truly, truly amazing. And I just got to ask you to walk people through how you're actually printing houses.
Sure. Well, thanks for that. We have a large format 3D printer. We now have 3 of them, actually. And we print, or we make the module of the house. We make the floor, 2 side walls, and a ceiling. And that takes us 24 hours. I've been in construction for over 35 years prior to this. And, you know, the process that takes us 1 day here in the field takes 90 to 180 days. So that's a huge saving of time. We use recycled materials, so it's saving of money. In quality, we can see, actually, I'm on the mezzanine of our factory, and I can just turn around and see printing going on, so I can monitor the quality. And it was not possible 10 years ago. First 3D printed house was made in Paris 9 years ago, and today we have homes that we started here in California, but we now have houses in South Carolina, Georgia, Colorado, Arkansas. We're spreading the wings. So it's really exciting to, first of all, develop this technology, but now really see it being implemented.
It really is amazing. And I am so excited about the potential for this business to make a difference in the world. You're based in LA. There have been some devastating fires this winter. And as we roll into spring, tell us a little bit about your initiatives to address relief efforts there and help people rebuild.
Yeah. So the history of the company actually takes us back to the previous large fire. We had the Woolsey Fire here just about 5.5 years ago, and I lived through it. It was in Malibu. 1,600 homes were lost. And after the fire, I volunteered for Los Angeles County because they wanted to have some contractors who could advise homeowners on the first steps. Do they need to remove the foundation? Basically, how to fill out the forms. So I did it for 3 months and met hundreds of people who lost their homes. And after that, I met my co-founder. I said, look, we got to start the company, but let's figure out how to build faster, less expensive, and with less environmental impact. Because right in summer of 2019, when we started the company, we really were still building traditional way. And traditional way means very long supply order lines, especially when so many people in the area lose homes. Secondly, lack of construction workers. I mean, it's been hard to find qualified contractors, period. I mean, I really think LA is a big city, but I don't think there are more than 20 qualified contractors here who can do it at scale. Look, the loss in Malibu or Woolsey Fire was 1,600 homes. The losses you just mentioned in January of this year, 18,000 homes. It was hard to rebuild from 1800, back 5 years ago. if we don't have innovation, it'll be impossible to rebuild now. So we really started the company with 3 bullets: build faster, build less expensive, and less environmental impact. The environmental impact is important because construction is the 3rd worst polluting industry, only after oil and gas and autos. I mean, it's the biggest user of natural resources. You think of all the lumber and steel and materials. And also the generation of cement is terrible for CO2. Freon from air conditioning, on and on and on. So reusing recycled materials and not having waste was also very part of the mission. And so when we started 5 years ago, we literally, for the first couple of years, we tried to make incremental changes, maybe using less paper, trying to hire better. It wasn't making much of a difference. So we started working on this idea of how to 3D print in our factory. And that's a big differentiator. There are lots of people who 3D print with cement on site. Well, first of all, as you heard, I don't like cement. Cement is terrible for the environment. But secondly, 3D printing on site, you can't work when it's too hot or too cold or too windy or rain or weather related. So doing it in the factory, we work literally 24/7. Our 3D printers work at night. They don't require supervision. They don't take lunch or go home for dinner. So, we can do it faster. We also have much better quality control. We literally can see what's going on the floor from our conference room, and have all kind of monitors. Training our employees is much easier because the tasks are kind of repetitive, and we have a ladder how employees can move up, but there is a process for how we do every bit of this process. So we really are just so excited to meet this goal, and really moved very quickly. We've been in business. The Azure Printed Homes part of the company, which is our parent company now, has been only for 3 years and accomplished quite a bit in 3 years.
Yeah, it really is exciting to see what you're doing. And you were on the show a couple of years ago, and it's just exciting to see the progress. It was more than an idea, but it was still early days when you were here. And now you're in production and you're scaling, and it's just so exciting. One of the things that I love about your approach is that you have done crowdfunding campaign after crowdfunding. You've raised a lot of money from the crowd using an investment crowdfunding approach. And so you're sort of proving this, what I call impact crowdfunding model. You're giving people an opportunity to invest right in social impact because you've got something that scales and grows. Tell us about your approach. Why has crowdfunding been such an important part of your capitalization strategy?
Sure. Well, as you remember, and many of your viewers know, that in the last 3 years, till today, it's been hard to raise money from traditional VC sources. And we're a capital-intensive business. So, again, the VCs in the US like to invest in software businesses or something that's less maybe capital-intensive. Where look at Asia. In China, they love to invest in hardware businesses, but we're not there. We're here, and we're committed to this. And we also knew that there's going to come a day where our business is not going to be as capital intensive. So to begin with, we raised initial capital. My business partner and I provided. So all the R&D initially was done by us. And then we did the Reg D, which is like for accredited investors. And then somebody introduced us to crowdfunding. And like you said, we're on the 5th crowdfunding campaign. We've raised, in the first 4 campaigns, we've raised a total of $2 million from 2,000 investors. And what I love about crowdfunding is we now have 2,000 true partners. We have investors from 46 states and 23 countries. Wherever I go in US or internationally, I can reach out and meet local folks. And a lot of them understand our business. A lot of them invest in real estate. So they are the users of our business. The best story I can tell you is we had one investor who invested, I think, like $1,000. And in the early days, I actually reached out to everyone. I still do that, but can't reach to everybody. And he said, well, Gene, how can I help you? I said, well, we need somebody to provide lease financing. So he introduced me to his father and his brother. To make a long story short, they've now financed half a dozen of our customers. They provided lease financing for our own. And then they, as a family, invested over $400,000. So this what can come from $1,000 investor who takes interest in your business. But there are many, many stories. I spoke in Riyadh in November, and I posted on LinkedIn I'm going there. I got a message from somebody who lives in Japan, and he was going to be in Riyadh at the same time. And we had a great conversation, and he now wants me to come to Japan. So there is real power to having lots of people because they could be your customers. They're definitely our biggest, they're our mouse. They're telling the world about this. And it's so hard to come out of obscurity, for startups. As much as I spoke 26 times, I did I did TEDx last year that had over 500,000 views, and still I run into people who never heard of us, right?
Yeah.
So having these ambassadors who are telling our story, and also they love the fact that their investment. Our first raise was at $20 million valuation, and today we're raising at 72. So in just 2 years, they've more than tripled the value of their investment. So that's also a positive story.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So I commend you for the great work that you're doing. I'm excited that you are going to join us at SuperCrowd LA coming up on May 1st through 3rd. It's going to be a great event, and I really appreciate you being there. You'll be part of a discussion about using crowdfunding for real estate offerings. And as someone who's done that so successfully, what tip would you offer to someone who is trying to raise capital from the crowd for a real estate project?
I'm really excited to be there as well because, LA is the real estate capital of the world. So much talent, so many people invest in real estate. So first of all, for people who are watching, if you're planning to raise money, even if you're not speaking, I encourage you to come. If you're an investor, and it seems like in LA, so many people are investors because they've done so well investing in real estate in their personal residences, in ADUs. But my advice, just with everything, anybody can use a chat GPT to create a nice PowerPoint, but people got to believe in you. It's not just a deck. It's not just a story, although those are important, but really being believable. With real estate, every deal is unique. So I find that people really would feel comfortable about investing in you if you know the details, if you really have looked at what's required to get the permits, what about the competition? Because in real estate, the old saying location, location, location. Why is your location so good? Why is it important? What will benefit? So I find that with real estate investors or people who invest in real estate type companies are very focused on details, because a good location, unique design, a right pricing can make or break the project, especially when interest rates are high, when there's a lot of uncertainty in the air. So you cannot be just an average, we're going to have an average project. You need to be an outstanding project. And then if you are, and especially if it's visible in your presentation, then people will believe in you. So I really think that, in-person event in kind of real estate capital of the world is going to be highly successful. And, somebody could just be sitting, they might not look like an investor, but so many, there are literally hundreds of thousands of people in LA are real estate investors. So great opportunity to raise some money.
That's great. I'm so excited to have you there at the event. It's going to be great. I want to point out that on the screen now, Gene, we've got a short link to your crowdfunding page, so people can go learn more about investing right now at s4g.biz/Azure. That's s4g.biz/Azure. And that just takes you to the crowdfunding page where nothing tricky there, no funnels or filters. It's just a redirect. So I invite you to check it out. We got to take a quick break now, Gene. I'm here today with Gene Eidelman. He's the co-founder of Azure Printed Homes, an extraordinary company that is literally printing affordable housing. Just amazing. Gene's going to join us at SuperCrowd LA in just a couple of weeks. You don't want to miss that event either. But listen, stick around. We're going to talk to Gene more when we come back about his superpower. You don't want to miss this.
Download a free copy of How to Make Money with Impact Crowdfunding. The book Sarah Hanks describes as
a fantastic overview, not just of crowdfunding investing, but of investing in general.
Andrew Savickas raved,
"This book offers unparalleled insights for anyone looking to make a difference."
Scan the QR code to get your copy.
SuperCrowd LA is the must-attend conference for impact investors, social entrepreneurs, and community builders. Learn from experts who've raised millions, including Jason Fishman of DNA, Sarah Hardwick of The Crowd, and Doug Wilmore of WorldTree. Plus, a live pitch with top investment opportunities. Early bird pricing ends soon.
Struggling to raise capital for your business? Unlock the power of the crowd with AI. My free guide, Crowdfunding Made Simple, walks you through every step to success. Get funded smarter, faster. Scan the QR code now for your free download.
Welcome back, everyone. We're just having such a great conversation today with Gene Eidelman. He's the co-founder of Azure Printed Homes, an amazing company that is literally printing affordable housing. We're going to shift gears now to talk to Gene about his superpower. So stick around. Gene, you're doing something pretty amazing, pretty revolutionary. And I recognize that a number of people have been working on this kind of thing for a while now, but I'm seeing you do something that most of the others are not, and that is succeeding, scaling, growing. It's exciting to see what you're accomplishing. What is your superpower?
Devin, it really is, our team's superpower is coming out with a solution that people need. This is my fourth startup. And quite honestly, I've never been involved in something that when you just offer a picture, a rendering, where people say, I need to have it. And what do people need? They need affordable housing. That's our goal. And affordable housing comes in many ways. It's building homes that are high quality, that are well designed. By the way, I always say that affordable housing does not need to look ugly. You want to be proud of your home. So building something that looks, attractive, and also an attractive price, especially with higher interest rates. People need to be able to afford it. And so, our goal was to find a way to build faster and less expensive. And we kind of hit three different verticals, if you mind. The main one is affordable housing subdivisions. So we're next, at the end of the year, we're going to start some subdivisions in Colorado, where we're opening our second factory. We also have some projects here in LA. So just affordable homes. Then second area, ADUs, whole buildings you can build in your backyard. Big problem we have here is homeless. I mean, we have 75,000 homeless in LA, and we gotta solve it. I just cannot accept that in the greatest country of the world, we can have, I think, around the country, over 750,000 people live on the street. And so this in March, so just before the show airs, we'll be announcing a couple of projects in California. We'll be providing housing for the homeless, but we'll also provide housing for investors who use short-term rentals or glamping resorts. And then secondly, environmental issues. Again, I have 3 kids. I want to leave my kids with Earth that is better than what I found. And unfortunately, it's hard because we produce over 40 million metric tons of plastic every year, and only 5% of it get recycled. Just think about it. So many people must recycle plastic bottles at home. For 20 bottles you're going to throw in that recycle bin, only one of them will be reused. I mean, we spend more energy on recycling than what recycling does. So we got to change that. I mean, with tariffs going up on aluminum, I unfortunately see even people who make aluminum cans, soda cans, moving to more plastic. So our solution is it takes 150,000 empty water bottles to make one of our modules. We can make 3 of them a day. So you can think of it. We can recycle. We can use about 6,000 to 7,000 pounds of recycled material a day. I can't think of any other industry that does that. So really, in all of this is done. My business partner and I, of course, work very hard, but all of it done was our team. And we have an unbelievable team of people who are very innovative and also just committed to the same mission. So, that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish here.
That's brilliant. And I appreciate your superpower of being able to sort of create those solutions that you talked about. And, it really is a comprehensive solution, as you point out. I wonder if you would take a minute, Gene, now and give us some tips for being able to create those solutions. Obviously, as you look back, you may be able to identify patterns, strategies, tactics that you used to build those solutions as, up front, right?
Yeah.
How can we replicate what you're doing perhaps in other areas?
Really applicable to any industry. Decision number 1 that any entrepreneur needs to have is what's out there that is needed. That is finding the product market fit is probably the most difficult one. You really need to find something that's badly needed, right? And then once you identify that, thinking of the ways how it can be done faster, less expensive, less environmental impact. It's great when you can accomplish all 3 things. Sometimes it starts out with just one thing, right? And just work on the others. So I really think big advantage for us was the fact that we're experts, not necessarily in 3D printing, we're experts in construction. So when you're expert in the field where you can understand where the demand has come from, I think that's the most important, because you can find experts in other fields. Like we knew what we wanted to accomplish. We didn't necessarily, when we started the company, we didn't think it was going to be 3D printing. We didn't name the company until we produced our first unit. So really identify the need. That's number 1. And then once you have the need, just don't stop. You can't imagine, Devin, how many people told us that's impossible. You can't. I mean, I run into people now who told me 3 years ago, well, what are you trying to do is impossible. It's like nobody's done it before. Yeah, if somebody would have done it before, it would be much more difficult to have a successful company. But also, there are many people who will either tell you that it can't be done, or people who will say that it's very difficult or it'll require a lot of money. So just find something that's badly needed. That's step number 1. And then just do not accept, no, it can't be done. Just keep going, keep finding, keep talking. Again, during COVID, it was very difficult to keep talking, keep meeting. I mean, everything had to be arranged on Zoom. But now, go visit. Think what can do. A lot of times, you have to go far away. 3D printing started in Europe, and we've made initially many trips, many Zooms with European companies, and then later, recently been making many trips, because you want to find where the innovation is happening, and then think of how can you take something that works there and customize to your needs. I really think that's it almost sounds overly simple, but that's the way it works. And crowdfunding now offers great opportunities, because venture capital is hard, and it's going to continue to be hard. And I just don't see that it's going to make it simpler. So when you have an idea, you have a concept, then using crowdfunding to raise money for it. Really. In that respect, it's much simpler than it used to be.
Yeah. As you think about, as we wrap up here, Gene, I wish we could keep this conversation going, but we got to wrap up. Tell people how they can learn more, how they can invest, how they can connect with you, maybe follow you on social media, or connect with you maybe on LinkedIn. What's the protocol?
Yeah, the best way is to follow me on LinkedIn. I'm the only Gene Eidelman I know of. or our website, azureprinted.homes.com. Our investment site is right there on your screen, or just invest.azureprinted.homes.com. You have an opportunity to invest before April 26th at a discounted rate. It's now $6 a share. It's going up. It's been going up consistently over the last 2 years, so I encourage you to take advantage of that, and just reach out. I'm very easy to reach.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Gene, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you every success.
Thank you so much. Great to see you, and look forward to seeing you in LA soon.
All righty. Now let's do some